Hello again, this is Pat Marsh, your host for the PM Talk Show. We're again out here on beautiful Miller Lake, and we have with us guests from the Tangipahoa Voluntary Council on Aging in a meet, as a matter of fact, in all of the major towns and cities in Tangipahoa Parish. And we wanted to do a segment with some of the members on what it means to be a member of the Council on Aging. And we have as our first guest today Mrs. Bessie Johnson from the Kentwood Kentwood Senior Center in Kentwood, obviously. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. Thank you for coming on as my guest. And we just wanted to bring one of the members on, and we'll be doing this throughout the year to let the public know the importance of the Council on Aging and what it means to you as a member. So the camera's yours.
Thank you for having me. The center is one of the greatest things that I've been in since I've been in Kentwood. I've been in Kentwood since '99, and I joined the senior citizen in 1999. And I go there. We have servants to feed our dinner, fix our dinner, bring it to us. All we have to do is go in, sign in, sit down, and we are on our own. We have somebody that comes by and give us a spiritual lesson once a month. We have a truck that goes around and picks up the people that don't have a car and bring them there, and they have, it is equipped with a wheelchair. We had one member that was with a wheelchair, but he's out now sick. And when they load in, I'm already there because I go early. I want to enjoy the fun. And I take a puzzle book sometime and wait for the others to come in. We also have a lady that comes in all during the month. We always have somebody to come in to entertain us, to say we're not just there sitting and to say they didn't forget the old people. Yes, it does. And we have another lady that comes in, and she have her little poster she puts up, and she tells us what to eat, how to eat, and she was there yesterday, and she told us about how to shop. You know, she said plan your dinner before you go out, how many dinners or what you plan to eat. And she showed us how to put the older food before we go to make grocery, how to put the older food at the front, so when we go in with the new food, we can put the new food in the back and we won't be using the older food. She showed us how to look for the canned goods and the milk, told us how not to buy the milk, that if you buy milk on the 27th and it's a gallon of milk and the expiration date is the 30, well, if you buy it on the 24th and the expiration date is the 27th, you know you won't buy won't drink a whole gallon of milk in those 2 or 3 days. So she did a good study in telling us on how we eat our proteins, what is proteins and all that. Some of us knew and some of us didn't. But she came in. Then we have the lady that come in and I call it art. She show us how to make bird feeders. Since then we have made bird feeders. She brought us peppermints for Christmas, and she showed us how to make little plaques for Christmas. And who else we have? I said about the truck that brings us in. We have the driver. And that driver will go and pick up people and sometimes take you to the store in between the driving time. So I think it's a good place for us to go. If it wasn't, I wouldn't go. So it's a good place for us to go, and it's letting us know that they don't forget about the older people.
Yeah, and then not only that, but you're being able to collaborate with friends each day.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that means a lot too. Have you or do you all ever talk to young people? Do they ever come by and you just share your wisdom and your experience with them?
Well, we do while they're there, because the town sends during the summer, they send students out to serve, work in the place. I don't know if they pay them or what, but they come out and they work, and we talk about, you know, different things to them. Sometimes you might think they don't want to hear you, but they think that we are so old we don't know, but we are there to carry the generation gap on. And it's a good thing for them, because sometimes we tell them about how we had to go out and work in the fields and all. And the field, like it's something, you know, not all good, but I worked in the field and I'm still here and I'm 83 years old, so I just love it, and I would like to thank the people that started it, to that they thought about this and got it going on for us.
Yeah. Well, I see a lot of times we are pastored by the same pastor, Pastor Jimmy Richardson, and a lot of times I notice you in your church when you come up to church, and I have to commend you because, girl, you are a dresser. You are a dresser. And you look good. You really do. And I've always admired your silver hair, because I just wish mine would just go on and get white all over, because I think silver hair is so beautiful. And I want to thank you for talking to the young people, because seniors, I'm one now, we have a lot to share. We have a lot to share, and if the young people would just listen to some of the stories that are told, many times all of the stories that are told, I think it would help them a lot. So on behalf of all the children, those who listen and who don't, thank you, and keep on doing it. And keep on doing it. If you had a choice between where you go every day now and go somewhere else, wherever it is, traveling on a plane, wherever it is, would you trade that choice for what you're seeing now with the Council on Aging?
I would go and see the places so I could bring it back to the ones that's there, because we have one lady that's 90. She just made 91. And I call her my friend. I have 3 of them that every day they come in, they want their hug, and we are right there together. And I say, how's my friends today? And they come with a smile. And it's uplifting for us to go, to have somewhere to go. Yeah. Because I go to the store and back to the center, and I'm home until on Sundays or church night. So.
But it means a lot to see that God has blessed you to see 83 years, and you look as good as you do. I'm just telling you, you really do, and I mean that from my heart, that you really do. And just thank you for being that positive role model for young people, especially young ladies. Yeah, because they need it. A lot of them need it. So is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience? I see you mentioned that you all you're getting ready, you're planning a movie extravaganza.
Yes.
So that's got to be exciting.
Well, it is. We're going to enjoy.
Do you have somebody to come and sing with you, or, you know, do you have somebody to play a piano or something like that, or do you even have one in the center?
We don't have one. Okay. They had one. It might be still there, but nobody has been. We had a lady there to play, and we sang all together, and we sounded pretty good. Uh-huh. My husband is a singer.
Yeah, I know. And he's a talker too. He just wouldn't talk on camera. Wouldn't talk on camera. But if there's anybody out there that maybe plays a piano, or if you have a piano that you'd like to donate to the Kentwood senior citizen, please do so, because this is fellowship for many of our seniors, and it's a good thing that they're able to, or we're able, because I'm a senior now too, we're able, and I never know where I'll be. I try to keep busy so that I won't freeze up and all that stuff with arthritis and all that kind of thing. But anyway, we want to thank you again for coming. We want to bring you back, and we pray God's blessings on those things that you're doing, and continue out of all that you do. Thank you for talking to the young people, because that's where our heart should be. Okay? Well, this is Pat Marsh, your host for the PM Talk Show. We're going to come back with part 2 in a minute with the Executive Director for the Tangipahoa Voluntary Council on Aging, Miss Debbie Flemings. We're going for a break, and we'll be right back.
Alone in the dark, but now you've come along, and you light up my life. You give me hope.
You don't have to be a hero to be a hero. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
Welcome back to the PM Talk Show. This is Pat Marsh, your host. We have part 2 of a segment that we're doing on the Tangipahoa Voluntary Council on Aging, based out of Amite, and of course it's throughout Tangipahoa Parish, in the municipalities of Tangipahoa Parish. We just completed an interview with Mrs. Bessie Johnson, who I feel did an excellent interview and gave a lot of credit to the center in Kentwood. And we have now with us the Executive Director of the Tangipahoa Voluntary Council on Aging, Mrs. Debbie Fleming. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Great, I'm just great. You were here and you heard Ms. Johnson's, I call it testimony, about all of the great things that you're doing with the Council on Aging. I want to commend you and thank you for thinking about us senior citizens, because it means a lot to people who otherwise wouldn't have any place to go or anything to do, so thank you.
You are welcome, and wasn't she adorable? Isn't she wonderful? She is such a sweet lady, as are all of our participants. Right. We just love and are honored. It's an honor and a privilege to go to work every day and to figure out how to provide these services for the seniors. It's frustrating, aggravating. We have our moments where we're just not real happy, but for the most part, just serving the elderly is the most wonderful job in the world. Right. I love my job. Right. I'm glad to be here and grateful. I am so thankful for Miss Betsy and other participants like her in the Kentwood Senior Center, Amite, Independence, Hammond, and Ponchatoula.
Right, right. I'm sure you take a lot of donations.
We do. To
the Council on Aging, so do you want to talk about that a little bit, and if anything you need?
Well, you know, naturally we need money. We need good hard cash to pay the employees. We have 38 employees who don't get paid a whole lot, but it takes a lot of people to operate, to serve that lunch 5 days a week. To Kentwood maybe has 25, 30 people. Some days in the winter it's less than that, but each center has around 20 people, 20 to 30, and it takes some staff people to prepare, heat up that meal, make sure it's the right temperature, make sure they're not going to get sick from anything. And we have staff who are trained on how to protect the people who eat the food and make sure that there's no botulism or anything in it. And they have to go through training to do that. So the staff is just absolutely fabulous. I think Miss Betsy talked about the staff at Kentwood and how kind and wonderful they are. And that is everybody throughout the parish. We're just really blessed with people who do this job as a mission. It's not for the money, it's because they love what they do. We, including me, we love what we do. And we always need cold hard cash to maintain the staff that we have and pay the bills, buy the gas for those vehicles she talked about. But we do need a piano in Kentwood, but we would need somebody to play it too. We don't, what good's the piano if we don't have somebody there playing it? And that's always fun and just gets people in a good mood. We do have somebody coming to our Independence site, and they sing, and they just sing whatever they want to sing and as loud as they want to sing, and it's wonderful. And you leave just feeling so good. Right. It just changes your whole disposition to be around other seniors at the senior center and the activities and just the positiveness and the love. It's just a lot of love going on.
Right. And certainly Mrs. Johnson, I'm sorry, she exhibited that in her part of the interview, because you could just feel it coming from her, the seriousness of what she was talking about. And I want to thank you for spearheading, being the director. And I know it may get difficult at times because you may need something and you can't get it at that minute, but I do know God will provide.
That's right. We know that, and we don't have a big bankroll in the bank waiting. We spend it as we get it to provide the service, because we need those services now. And I was telling somebody the other day, it seems like nowadays we have to kill a forest to serve a meal, all the paperwork that's required. And of course we're going to do whatever's required, and we're going to do it with honesty, integrity, and transparency, and just make sure that we're spending the taxpayers' money the way it's intended to be spent. And it's intended to give happiness to the seniors and gain from them, as you talked about, the wisdom that they have for us, and we love it, and it's just a great partnership.
I understand that you're partnershiping with the City of Hammond's transportation program.
Oh,
How is
yes.
that going?
It's really going really well. It's been about 7 years that we have provided a city bus. It makes a 1-hour loop around the city of Hammond, and I just was there today at North Oaks, where the Hammond City Bus meets up with the newly created Ponchatoula City Bus. So we also have one going around the city limits of Ponchatoula. The mayor and the town council stepped up and just knew that the citizens needed a way to get to the grocery store and the drugstore and the doctor, and they are to be commended too for doing that, and for recognizing that the people need a service such as that for 50 cents. I mean, you get on the bus for 50 cents, and if you live in Ponchatoula, you can meet the Hammond bus at North Oaks and go to Hammond. You can take classes at Southeastern for 50 cents one way.
Wow, you can't beat that, can you?
Transportation should not be the reason that people don't get a college degree. If I can do anything about that, that's really an effort that I feel strongly about, that transportation should not be the reason people don't do better.
Have you checked with any other of the municipalities on the north end of the parish?
Oh yeah, they are so interested and committed and really involved in providing transportation from Kentwood all the way to Manchac. Funding is always the problem, and they struggle. Some of the smaller towns do struggle for their funding and to make sure we have all the services we need. But it's an ongoing process, and the elected officials are all wonderful and have great attitudes about providing the services that the people need. And when we started the Ponchatoula route, there was an article done about the driver. The whole article was about the driver, not about the service. And it was such a good article, because that driver is the answer to so many people's prayer. They've told me over and over that they needed some help. And here she is. She showed up in this big old bus, and they're just so thankful for that. And it's not perfect and never will be. The traffic just gets in the way sometimes, and trains slow us down, flat tires even once in a while, but it's not perfect. But we are open to suggestions. If people can help us make it better, we will listen.
Have you met with the parish president to see if that might be something that they could kind of underwrite through your grant writing and what have you?
Mr. Burgess is absolutely on board, and he is, I just had him sign in some paperwork yesterday for the application to DOTD for the rural public transportation funding that we receive that enables us to provide these services. So yes, Mr. Burgess, parish president, and all of the parish council members and the mayors, everybody's just really very good about it and have the right attitudes, and I'm so grateful for that. They do everything they can to help us. But of course they can't snap their fingers and have a bank full of money, so they're doing everything they can.
Yeah, and we do understand that, but we just want the public to know that you do have some help coming in through those types of sources. So thank you, Gordon.
Yes,
Thank
they
you,
do what they
Councilman.
can.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. Well, is there anything else exciting you have planned for 2015 for the Council on Aging?
Goodness,
What are some of
always.
your activities that you're going to be doing?
Always. We will probably go Senior Day at the Capitol. That's another fun outing. Miss Betsy had mentioned going to Gonzales. We go to Gonzales in October for an annual meeting with the 10 parish district. So they get to mingle with people from other parishes, and they dance and have a good meal. And then in May, probably in May, which is Older Americans Month, we will take a trip to the Capitol. And some people tell me they have not been in many, many years. Some say I've never been to the Capitol. And Representative Steve Pugh generally will take us on a tour if he can, if he has the time. He will give us a guided tour of the state capitol, which is always fun too, and adds a lot to the trip. And all of our state representatives are so wonderful to us, and they care about us, and they do, like the parish officials and the mayors, our state elected officials, our senators and representatives also care very much and do what they can to help us.
Now, I was thinking about a piano donation. I'm hoping that somebody will have one that they're not using and it's tuned up. And maybe since they have arts in the schools, performing arts, maybe there's some students who maybe could come over as extra credits for school and maybe play during, so that might be an option that you could look into.
We'll take it. Now, we do not have a truck or strong people to move a piano. So if somebody has a piano to donate, I'd take it, but I can't pick it up.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty
it has
sure.
to be delivered.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be kind enough to do that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Or get some strong-bodied young people that can come and put it in, because it would only enhance the program that you have.
Right, and we have, we invited the new mayor of the town of Kentwood to, and she's very receptive and responsive to ideas and plans for the future. I'm looking forward to working with her.
Yeah, and she's going to be a tremendous asset to the town of Kentwood.
And I've also talked to Mayor Pete, the new mayor of Hammond, and he also said, I'll come ride that bus and we'll do what we need to do with it. Anything he can do to help us. So I'm excited. I think we've got a lot of good partners, people on our side, people, I mean, in a world with so much bad stuff going on, this is a good thing. This is something to be happy about and cheerful about. We do what we can in our little world, and makes the whole world a better place.
Well, you are appreciated.
Thank you.
By more people than you realize. You really are appreciated, and we want to thank you for what you do. We want to thank Ms. Johnson for coming on, and I'm going to say this on camera, Mr. Johnson, we got to go and have a talk. Because I see him talking at church all the time, but he didn't want to talk on camera, so okay, we'll maybe catch him the next time. But thank you so much, and do you have any closing comments?
I don't know what to say. I have so many things. I just still love my job, love the Council on Aging, love the people we serve. I appreciate all of the help and the donations that came in over the holidays. At Thanksgiving, beginning Thanksgiving, groups and organizations and individuals called and said, can we bring blankets? Can we bring gifts? And of course, we're going to accept what they bring. And we were just flooded with generosity of this wonderful community. And I appreciate that so much to everybody who donated time, talents, and presence. And the food. I mean, Bolivar Baptist Church came to the Kentwood Center and with food, turkey, dressing, everything, and we sang to them and they sang to us, and it was just wonderful.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. When you look at it at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, the fellowship that means so much.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to thank you for coming. We will be bringing you back as we get further into the year to talk about those things that you'll be doing when it gets close to that time. So we'll let everybody know. But just remember, if you have a piano out there, please donate it in Kentwood, because one is needed and it would be appreciated. This is Pat Marsh, your host for the PM Talk Show. We want to thank you for joining us again. We want you to remember that knowledge is powerful. Knowledge does matter. Thank you. Have a great week, and God bless.